Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, he looks like he's gotten plenty of sleep and everything's going his way. The mess is earning his name right now. And partly it's because everybody is yelling at him and yelling at all the prognosticators, which is like red wave, ready red wave, red wave, red wave. All the red wave people are getting a fucking earful every time they pick up their phone. Now, the reason I wanted to look at this one is, he's apparently, he was in Florida, and then I guess he came back. This looks like the regular background. But he's not in Arizona. But he's got somebody on the ground in Arizona, not like Diamond and Silk does, obviously, but he's got somebody there who's going to give him the inside skinny on what's going there. Let's see who it is.
You know, guys, what's so strange is here we are coming toward the weekend, and we still don't have results out of Arizona, and we don't have results out of Nevada. Inexplicable delays. Now, in
No, explicable. Very explicable.
Arizona, there were problems with the counting,
No, with tabulating.
on election day itself.
With tabulating machines. Not the counting. Not the voting. Just the tabulating.
Specifically in Maricopa County. And remember, Maricopa County, very important county, the Phoenix area. But in Nevada, where those problems were not reported, here we are days later, and they're still, quote, counting.
Quote counting. They're actually counting.
How long does it take to count? So I thought Debbie and
Well, interestingly enough, a lot of these Republican groups that run these counties are a little slow on the draw. Maybe because they, along with the local Republican pollsters, were talking to each other and finding out that it's not going your way. And so they're trying to slow roll this and create the red mirage idea. And then the longer they can keep that, drag it out, the more they can make people think there's something weird going on, even though these are counties run by Republicans.
And I could talk a little bit about the problems that we have in these, seemingly, again, the interesting, honey, that these problems are in swing
Did he call me honey?
states.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I don't know if
Oh, it's Debbie. Interesting. Debbie's got her hair down. She's got big hoop earrings. When she's away from Dinesh, she gets all dolled up. Debbie never dresses up and wears perfume when she's around the house. She never asks for a second cup of my coffee.
if it's just because we are focused on them because they're swing states, or if somehow mysteriously the problems tend to develop in precisely the states which are going to deliver to us in this case. I mean, look, if Adam Laxalt beats Cortez Masto in Nevada and Blake Masters wins in Arizona, we have the Senate. We're not even dependent on the Herschel Walker race.
Yeah. Blake Masters is not winning. Like, that's just goofy. Look at her face. She knows that's just fucking ridiculous.
In Georgia. Now, if we lose one of those, I think we're going to
both
win the Nevada race with Laxalt. I don't know what's going to happen with Blake Masters. If Blake Masters loses, we will.
By the way, there's going to be a recount in a couple of these, and they're going to make a big deal out of it, too.
Be then depending on Herschel Walker to win in the runoffs in early December. So, but talk a little bit about the New York Times and its kind of
Yeah. So
Yeah, the mainstream media is full of shit. Cite the mainstream media.
how Republicans are making a big deal out of nothing.
yeah, so it says voting machine problems in Arizona fuel right-wing fraud claims, right? So basically, I heard Carrie Lake yesterday say that there are still 600,000 votes that have not been counted. Can you believe that?
No, I mean, it was like 280,000.
600,000?
Yeah, I think you're 3 days late on I think that was like Wednesday.
So, and she's getting very, very close
Yeah, no.
to winning,
No, she's not.
and she's only a few thousand
26,000 votes.
votes behind.
Yeah, 26,000.
So anyway, but what happened is about a quarter of the voting sites had some type of irregularity. I mean, they either they couldn't read the print, the ink wasn't dark enough. I mean, they just had all kinds of issues. So,
It's almost like after 2020, Republicans who control these areas were fucking with the elections, trying to make them as inefficient as possible, and therefore to allow for this kind of seeds of doubt so they could just take over. Weird.
Kerry has been urging people, vote on election day, vote on election day.
Yeah, like a moron.
And unfortunately, people that did go on election day, some of them were turned away and they had no recourse, right? So they didn't.
No, yes, yeah. Nobody was turned the fuck away. They all got to vote. The people that came out of those places that they watched footage of, all those people simply just had to drop their ballot in a slot and it was tabulated later. It wasn't a shredder. This is nonsense. She's making this up out of whole cloth. Even the people she cites don't claim this.
Actually, their vote didn't count, basically.
Yes, it did.
So that's a problem in America.
Also, how are they turned away? Give me fucking one person, one name. And if you bring up one of these people like, I showed up and they said I'd already voted. So I was like, nah. And they went, what'd you say? I didn't know. It says right here you already voted, that you turned in your mail-in vote. It does. It says that. It says that. I must have I forgot. That's how And then they walk outside. I was turned away. Somebody said I already voted. Why don't you call a cop? I just don't. I'm too upset.
Maricopa County.
This is a bunch of maggots who tried to vote twice.
They need to fix this because, so it says a series of technical glitches. This is the New York Times. A series of technical glitches disrupted ballot counting on Tuesday at about 1 in 4 voting centers in Republican-led Maricopa County.
Huh. So you're saying fish doesn't stink from the head? Huh. Must be like moles or something that got in. Maybe there's Democrats that snuck in. It's like Antifa on January 6th. 7 years ago, they gained a lot of weight and got type 2 diabetes and grew a bunch of facial hair and wore red hats daily and put stickers on their truck that said, I blame Biden, and drove around, the Rachel Dolazols of MAGA and pretended. And just so they could get close enough so they could shred someone's second ballot. What?
Arizona. And then it says rekindling embers of baseless voter fraud claims in the right-wing media and politicians. Well,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't understand how they can say baseless.
Well, it means that there's no basis for those beliefs, especially in places like Maricopa County, because they had multiple recounts and it's Republican run. So if the fix was in, it would have arguably leaned Republican, would it not?
Because when things like this happen, what else
Nothing is happening.
are we going to say?
That machinery has an issue and that multiple times over elections in the past, this has occurred. And as long as people's votes count, who gives a fuck?
I mean, can you imagine if it was the other way around?
It has been the other way around.
These people would be going nuts. They would. So anyway.
No. We would go, are they still counting them? They had machine problems at one of the precincts, but they're still counting them, right? Yep. Okay. What do you want to order for lunch?
Okay, so it's really annoying, I guess.
It is. It is annoying. You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing. That's the thing with democracy. It should not be First and our founding fathers said that a democracy should not be annoying.
When
If I wanted to be annoyed, I would watch this fucking dude. Okay.
and when they claim that we're, baseless claims of this and that, but yet they don't fix their machines. They don't fix
Yeah, and they and their means Republicans, in case you're having trouble with the pronouns in this situation.
their vote, their ability to have a well-run election. I don't know why they don't do that.
I think you take a look at the party that's in charge and you vote out that party so that different people, possibly not in that party, who don't give a fuck about how government is run, maybe are replaced by people who are in a party that does. Huh. It's almost like the solution is it's like right there.
I mean, you had problems with the tabulating machines in Maricopa County. By the way, there was a county in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, that ran out of paper. So think about...
Oh my God. A county in Pennsylvania, the whole county ran out of paper. How will the children make airplanes? What about my math homework? There's no paper. We've killed all the trees. It's Lorax County in Pennsylvania, for those of you keeping track.
About that. And when these are close states, remember that in 2020, the margin in Arizona was something like 11,000 votes. So it's...
Uh-huh. And it's double that right now. So, it's even less, but it sounds like twice as many Republicans just decide to fuck this off right now.
It's not as if this doesn't make a difference. When you have, these aren't glitches if they're delivering the election one way or the other.
Again, why would Republican-run districts glitch to throw the Republicans out of office?
If you're able to discourage even a small percentage of people from voting...
Okay, fucko. All Trump did, and all these assholes did, was discourage people from voting. What the fuck do you think 2,000 Mules did? It discouraged people from voting. They don't trust it. Why the fuck would you get in your car and only show up on one day, and if the weather sucks, you gotta stand in line in the fucking rain because you don't trust mail-in and you don't trust early voting, even if you do it in person, like anybody gives a rat fuck. And they're in the vote... Jesus Christ, they're so anti-voting, I'm surprised they haven't been hired by TYT at this point.
Wow, you're securing you're kind of basically rigging the election, so...
Yes, okay, so, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they've confessed to a crime. The Mess and Debbie have now confessed to rigging the election for Democrats. Just
the impact has to be considered. The second
maybe you should have thought of that before you released the book and the movie.
second point to remember here in 2022, who is running the election in Arizona?
Jesus Christ. In the troubled areas, Republicans. It's almost as if in 2020, Donald Trump talked to people and went, if they cheat, why don't we just cheat? Even though there was no sign that Democrats were cheating. So we're just cheating back. So I'm just going to buy a bunch of votes. And this dude, Rasmussen, who hangs out here and is always blowing me, says that all I need are like 3 million votes. So let's just buy that. And maybe that'll extrapolate into some more. And that'll keep us afloat during the whole thing. And some of those people are still in office in Maricopa County.
Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State. Now, Carrie Lake said from the beginning of the campaign.
So our complaints about Brian Kemp when he was Secretary of State running against Stacey Abrams the first time. So you're suddenly on our side about this shit?
Katie Hobbs, you should step down. You can't run an election that you're running in.
Tell that to Brian Kemp. And also, by the way, whoever the Republican senator that just won in in Missouri, was it?
And yet Katie Hobbs like, no. This reminds me a little bit of these, jurors in D.C. in the January 6th trials where they're like, yeah, I work for the government. Yeah, I have my company has contracts with the Capitol, but you know what? I can be objective. So in other words, here.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is like. Great analogy. Well done. Nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about.
You've got
made up people say things that are like what I think other people that I made up in my head think and say.
An apparatus conducting the election that has
apparatus.
A stake in the
unless it's something that eats you, in which case, unless you're talking about a fleshlight.
Election. So I think
that I would call a fleshlight an apparatus. I would. That's why they scare me.
I think that concerns about this, and by the way, no one is saying that they stole the election in 2022.
What the? No one? Motherfucker, what? What? She's even amazed. What the? What? What do you think 2000, since when? Yeah, yes. That's exactly what his book and movie say, and that's exactly what the people who just got fucking thrown in jail for not giving up their fake FBI source that does not exist. That's what they sell.
Carrie Lake and me and others, we've been very responsible in highlighting these problems and saying that they need to be fixed. And one of the things that Carrie Lake goes, listen, if I get in, if I'm elected, or when I'm elected, I'm going to make sure that this kind of nonsense.
If you're elected, there's no nonsense. And again, that's the problem with Carrie Lake and the other Trumpies. It's a totally cool election if I get elected, but if I lose, it's a fucking setup.
Doesn't happen again.
Feel it?
Jesus. That's fucking amazing.